Good morning, YouTube America. Another wonderful Wednesday morning in the state of Iowa. Behind me is the Polk County Courthouse. My Wednesday routine. It's not quite 7:30 yet, so I thought I'd drop me a little bit of video here, post it later. Uh, you ever notice how we become dependent on technology, and especially our connection, our connectability between internet, cell phone, in some cases your cable television. You take it for granted until something goes south and it's not working quite the way you want it to. My mother's MediaCom connection has been on the fritz. My wife's cell phone, or landline phone, I guess she calls it a cell phone, but it's her landline phone. It's also been having problems, and I've spent numerous hours on the phone waiting and arguing and debating with various people from various parts of the world connected to these two companies, trying to get answers to problems that don't seem to get resolved as quickly and as easily as they should. Life's full of those kind of disappointments and difficulties. I'm aware of that. Gets old. I'm sure you've all had that, where you just get frustrated. Try to talk to the new automated systems today, where they ask you to actually respond, and your mother's dogs or your dogs are yapping in the background, or your spouse is going on yapping in your ear, and the cell phone, the connectivity system is misconstruing what they're saying and the noises they're making as stuff you're saying. You're getting misdirected to departments and other things that have nothing to do with what you asked for. The old Makes me long for the old-fashioned days of where you actually called a number and got somebody on the phone who was a person. They may not know what they're doing. They may end up having to shuffle you around to people who do know what they're doing, but at least you were feel like you were connected to something, and you know, it just it's frustrating. My mother's house. My folks got the cable for the first time in 1984, the same year that MTV aired. I remember watching the first few episodes of MTV when I was a teenager. Uh, yeah, that's how old I am, folks. The Over the years, they've had several different companies come in. One time, my wife and I stayed there and had a second line come into the house for phone and other services. And so I went out when our TV went on the fritz and the internet wouldn't work. I went out and took a look at the wires, and it's this vast nest of wires, adapters, and three sets of adapters in a row with three wires attached to them, each going to the next adapter, then to something else. And it boggled my mind. I couldn't make head nor tails of all this stuff. And I wasn't about to mess with it because, I was afraid I'd make it worse, whatever was wrong. So we called the people, the service, spending hours on the phone. Apparently, the modem my mother uses for her internet service and cable was three generations out of date, really old, would not work with their new software they were trying to put down the line to it. They insisted it showed that it was connected. I insisted that you couldn't get any internet. It says it right there in the thing. You're connected, but no internet. That is very frustrating. I have yet to understand exactly how that works in the first place. You can get Wi-Fi, but no internet. You can get free Wi-Fi, but no internet. And people will tell you, oh, it's your laptop or it's this. And I say, well, the same thing happens when I use my mother's laptop, and it doesn't matter where I go. So there's something more going on than that. I went and spent $50 to get one of these mobile hotspots so I could have this laptop with me wherever I went. And you got to prepay for it. And that 15 minutes for 1G, that 1G goes pretty fast. And so I turned around and bought the $40 version, and it's 4G. And already I think it's almost run out. And I've only used it for a couple of days now. I wasn't on all day. It's just that I had a lot of things going on. Trying to keep up with my emails and this video stuff and my eBay campaign to make a little money. I got to be online quite a bit. So I'm still trying to figure out how to find this unlimited system that'll work that doesn't bankrupt me. Mediacom sent out a technician twice in 2 weeks. Two different technicians. The first one came out and he said, well, the wire was bad, the squirrels and the weather, blah, blah, blah. So he laid out a wire, just dropped it on the ground and ran one from the pole to the house because the ground was too hard to bury it. Well, that got the TV up and working. Didn't do nothing for the internet. So they sent out a new modem. Put that in, follow the instructions. Now it's hit or miss. Every time one of the neighbors jumps on, we get kicked off. I don't understand that. You get frustrated with it very fast. They sent out another technician, which meant waiting another week. So the technician came out yesterday, and he was stymied by the sheer rat nest of wires and connections, and unaware of what most of it was. So he just bypassed all of it, and which is what the first guy should have done. He properly installed the modem because the modem actually worked different from what the instructions said it did, according to him. And so her internet or her TV and her cable's working to one of her two televisions. But he spent a lot of time trying to get this thing set up, and he ran out of time. So he's going to come back Sunday on his own time, he said. And I assume that he's getting paid because we're not paying for that to finish setting up the other television and to take a look at some other little minor details that's going on. Meanwhile, we got this high-speed, expensive modem and internet service, and it's still sporadic. Off and on yesterday, I could get on, and then I couldn't get on, and you just get frustrated with that over time. It's kind of like this frustration of having to come down here every Wednesday and get this pile of thick envelope, 3 or 4 pages every week, stapled together, basically saying the same thing. I'm homeless, I'm staying in this red car, and it's at this particular location. I haven't changed none of that. I would dearly love to have my own place. My wife and I would like to have her place. But until she can get her SSI going and help me sustain our residence, I can't do it. 3 weeks ago, I had $600 in the bank. Now I got $81 in the bank, and I owe about $200 on a credit card. So, it's how life works. And if I'm having to pay the rent, utilities, and my back child support, gasoline and insurance for a car, let alone things like food, lights, and necessary yet unimportant, depending on who you ask, things such as the internet and a cell phone, well, I wouldn't be able to do it. As many hours as I can get at my job, I still would not be able to sustain it. For many weeks, I was pulling down 20 hours, 15 hours a week of overtime, and my checks were about $600 after deductions. But then last week and this week, things slowed down for a minute, and I'll be lucky to make 300. And that's an example of what I'm talking about. If you can't support yourself, your significant other reliably, then you gotta find other methods. And this is why I'm homeless by choice to some degree at the moment. It's a convenience. This legality thing is making it so I can't stay at mom's and save money. I have to spend twice as much gas as what I would probably have to spend. I had to drop $170 to repair the snowblower of my dad's to get it running. Mom didn't have that money. The car a few weeks before, as I've said before, it cost me almost $400 to get this car back on the road because of some transmission issues. And, that argument of this being part of life, well, yeah, you're right. It is part of life, part of that life experience that we have to cope with and deal with. And I'm doing the best I can. This morning on the radio on the ride over here, they were talking about the new, how old is it? Society considers how old are you when you feel like you're no longer, when did you grow up? What time did you grow up? The majority of people think 36 or 37 is when you finally feel that you've finally grown up and you've arrived. The 5 concepts, I believe, or the 5 things that they said was people, paying off their debts, were buying a home, were believed that they'd finally had a career, had established a family and a significant other. Well, I tell you, I think they missed out on a few things there. Maturity and a bit of wisdom, I think, would go well. I didn't mature, grow up, if you will, or mentally accept the fact that I had to do things different until I went to prison. And I was already 36 years old when I went to prison, but I was still living the life I wanted to live as I wanted to live it, with my priority being what I wanted to do first and everything second. And then I went to prison and I lost access to a lot of things, and I lost a lot of valuable time that I cannot get back. And I faced some hard realities, and part of that was that this is not only a privilege but an honor to work a good job and to support my wife and my family and to do the right thing with every opportunity. And it's not easy to make some sacrifices. We make sacrifices every day. Some of them are different from each person's sacrifices, very indifferent. I get that. Sometimes I'm not so sure the majority of us take a look at life and from that perspective. We're too busy doing those things that we need to do to get by for the day or the week. Who's got time to sit back and reflect on the realities of the world? Perseverance and patience, I guess, would be the thing I'm looking at saying here. It's hard to persevere some days, and the patience can be so tried. Our patience becomes tried a lot, and all you can do is keep poking and plugging and moving along. And I hope that through my experience, that somebody out there will benefit a little, gain a little wisdom from my experiences. Look at your family and your loved ones and your extended family from a different perspective. Look at your life. Look at the little things that we take for granted every day, and understand that in a blink of an eye, in a moment, it can all be changed. It can all be taken away. And there's numerous ways that can happen. Prison's the least of them. Uh, I hope and pray that some people, life in general improves, but just acknowledge that each day is a gift. You don't have to be terminal to understand that. Maybe if we all knew this and understood this better at a younger age, life in general, the world would be such a better place. But it's not. That's a lack of wisdom. But perseverance, keep pressing forward, keep trying. I try every day, every moment of every day. This video concept, video log is an example of that. Again, almost no traffic, no hits. Nobody's watching this. I'm just doing it because I need to do it. And who knows, 10 years, 20 years from now, somebody will see some of this stuff and go, what the hell was this guy thinking and doing it? Maybe he's, maybe, I don't know. But y'all have a good day, and keep in mind that it is a good day, no matter how bad the day gets.